We all know that Prince Harry sent what we see as a threatening email to the NYPD over the fake paparazzi chase. But now I've brought in your favourite DC lawyer, John Witherspoon, for his reaction. And guys, buckle up because he has some choice words to say about this one. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yes, let's jump into this with your favourite DC lawyer of all time, Mr. John Witherspoon. Merry Christmas, thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing so far, mate?
I am doing fine, Steph, thank you, and I am surviving the lead up to Christmas. I was just out doing a little shopping. It almost did me in, but I've survived to fight another day. I'll be glad. Christmas is a great time of year, but it's also great when it's over, I have to say.
Well, I see you sporting everyone's favourite jumper. When you last wore this, I saw a lot of very positive comments about this jumper that you're wearing again. And guys, stay till the very end because John actually has a very important message for you all. But before we get to that, oh my goodness, we've all read it by now, yes? Prince has us, as far as I can tell, as, you know, my deduction, a very threatening email to the NYPD over what we consider being the fake New York City paparazzi chase that they claimed happened last year. And yeah, John and I, we were talking behind the scenes, as we usually do, because we are mates as well. And John's like, oh, I've got some choice words to say about this one. And he's been offloading, and I thought, do you know what? Let's do a video. So, John, take it away. You've read this email. What are your thoughts?
Well, a couple of things come to mind. One of which is this was written by someone at Prince Harry's private security firm. I don't know if that's a firm that he works with just in California or New York, or maybe they're nationwide. I'm not entirely sure. But one of the things that I have learned in my various adventures in employment over the years is that people tend to write emails that reflect the tone and the demeanor and the behavior and the mindset of the people that they work for. So in keeping with that sentiment, this email, when I read it, I think it is a very strong and I think very direct impression and reflection of what Prince Harry's attitude and worldview is, and a reflection of how he views himself relative to the rest of the world. I can also say, again, through some of my past employment, that I have been on the sending side of emails like this, not exactly like this, but similar to this, and also on the receiving side of it. And I can tell you, I cannot imagine ever writing an email like this to law enforcement personnel, basically questioning their integrity, threatening them with taking the matter to a higher level, and basically doing so over what seems, I think, to most people to be a very small, isolated incident, assuming it happened at all. I mean, again, this was portrayed as a multi-hour, 80-mile-per-hour, life-threatening car chase. And I think those characterizations of this have been largely debunked. But again, to get back to the specifics of this email, he intends to file a formal complaint. I cannot imagine the people at the NYPD not having some very foul words to say in response to this. along the lines of WTF and a lot of eye rolling. And who in the world does this guy think he is? He basically is a private citizen who is full of himself, notwithstanding the fact that he's able to use the title of prince and so forth. I have never heard anybody say that there is police protection that parks outside of his house to protect him from any kind of a threat in the way that, for instance, Secret Service or NYPD would park outside of an embassy or an ambassador's residence or something like that in New York or in Washington. We have a lot of that around here. It's just absolutely bizarre to me that he would condone, which he apparently did since one of his staff sent this or someone connected to him sent this. It's incredible to me and astounding to me that he would have the hubris and the arrogance to send or allow to be sent an email like this, again, threatening, claiming that there's a cover-up, impugning the integrity of sworn law enforcement officers, and not just low-level personnel. These are executive-level law enforcement officers, lieutenants and captains, assistant chiefs, et cetera, who are in charge of major subunits of the New York Police Department. It just blows my mind. And the whole Gavin Newsom thing, let's keep in mind that when there was an issue with some paperwork that was not filed or it was incorrectly filed, allegedly, or whatever was wrong with it out in California, Gavin Newsom actually had to come to their rescue in a news conference and make public comments talking about, oh, this was not a big deal. This was a little small potatoes issue. Why in the world is Gavin Newsom even on their mind in terms of fixing that problem and also fixing this alleged problem that they have with the NYPD? It absolutely blows my mind, as I said, and I cannot imagine. Steph, as I said to you in the lead up to this video, I think the contents of this email are more indicative of Prince Harry's mindset and the way he views himself and the way he thinks about himself and the rest of the world. I think it's more insightful than what he said in Spare. And I mean that. There is an enormous level of, as I've said before, just hubris, arrogance, the whole 9 yards. And I just find it absolutely remarkable. If in fact this is an accurate reflection of the way that Harry views the level of importance, that he has in the wider world, I think it's terribly unfortunate because I see only misery and sadness and disappointment for him. I don't have any animus toward him. I would like him to succeed as a human being. He has the potential to make great contributions to the world. Sending emails like this and declaring yourself to be self-important and demanding other people jump when you say jump, that is not going to get him very far. And as I said, I don't think that this is boding very well for him in terms of the rest of his life and the way that, again, he interacts with the rest of the world. I think you get the point.
Yeah, and when we were talking to lead up to filming this video behind the scenes, you were very direct saying that, reading this email, it's really, really offensive. So just in a nutshell, why do you think that this email is offensive overall?
Well, for the reasons that I sort of said, it is a direct attack on the integrity of sworn law enforcement officers at a senior level in what I'm not sure where NYPD shakes out in terms of the size of the organization and the service in relative to the Met or other police departments or the LAPD or other departments around the world. This is a very, very prestigious law enforcement organization. The people who received this email are senior or middle management personnel who have earned their place in the organization through many years of good decision-making, solid policing, good education, et cetera, et cetera. They're not just flunkies and dopes and people who have risen up just because they got lucky. And for him to send something like this to those caliber of people, as I said, I can only imagine what the reaction would have been in New York City when these people opened their emails. Incidentally, I give them great credit for the graciousness with which they received that email, notwithstanding how offended I'm sure they all were to get a piece of arrogant, demanding, self-important correspondence like was sent to them. To me, it's just incomprehensible and very, very counterproductive. Anybody who got an email like that would say, what? You know, who does this guy think he is? I don't care if he's a prince. He's here in this country as a guest. He considers himself to be high and mighty, even though he renounced, allegedly, the high and mighty practice of and existence as a royal in the UK. Who in the world does he think he is? That's what it boils down to.
And so there it is, guys. Your favourite DC lawyer, John Witherspoon, reacting to Prince Harry's threatening email to the NYPD over the fake paparazzi chase. In our next video that's going to be released in a couple of hours' time, your favourite DC lawyer, John Witherspoon, is going to react to the other two letters that have been released. There's a slight difference between them, as I explained last week, and he's going to react to if Prince Harry really did bully the NYPD into lying about the fake paparazzi chase to help bolster his case against the UK to try and get taxpayer security fully funded. So check that out for the next video that will be released in the next couple of hours. But as I said right at the beginning, stay until the end because yes, John does actually have an important message for you all. So John, you have the floor as always. Take it away, hon.
Thank you, Steph. I appreciate the opportunity. There have been a number of YouTubers over the last couple of days who have talked about the situation on the Legal Vices channel and the loss of family members and so forth. And I just wanted to mention there is another very high-profile YouTuber named Bruce Rivers, CLR, or I think his channel is CLR Bruce Rivers. He has almost 1.5 million subscribers. He's a lawyer in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He reacts to all kinds of legal types of issues. Very, very popular, very good guy. One of the reasons why he has become so popular is because his son, Michael, who is 27 years old, is his producer, and he refers to him as his content genius, Michael Rivers. And Michael has had a rough life. He lost his mother to self-deletion when he was 5 years old or 6 years old. And he has lost, I believe, a grandparent and an aunt or an uncle as well to self-deletion. And he had some tremendous difficulties apparently with his own behavior in terms of alleged substance abuse and some alleged criminal activity that he was involved in. Anyway, he managed to pull his life together. He's been working with his dad. As I said, he's been an integral part of his dad's channel. Anyway, I learned the other day that Michael Rivers, age 27, had died suddenly a few weeks ago. It is a terrible tragedy if you watch Bruce's channel. I'm not certain that he's receiving messages he has not uploaded in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure this is the reason why. I'm sure he's just devastated. What I'm asking is for people to just keep Michael and Bruce and the other members of the Rivers family in your thoughts and prayers, because that's really all you can do, but I do think it makes a difference sometime. And let me just mention one other thing as well, and I've mentioned this on a couple of other channels that I've been on. This is a really difficult time of year. I'm not talking specifically about the Bruce Rivers family situation, but it's just a very difficult situation in terms of being out shopping and feeling pressure to make your house look like a Hallmark movie or a Hallmark greeting card and put up decorations and spend a lot of money and buy gifts. And a lot of people probably spend more than they should, and so forth. my request would be, and I have some familiarity with this issue, and I won't go into all the details, but because of some of my affiliation with public safety in the Washington, D.C. area, I do see that there's always an uptick in people who have trouble this time of year, who get into fights or arguments, or they take too many pills or too much alcohol or whatever it is. If you know somebody who is single this time of year, it is a wonderful gift to give that person. Invite them to Christmas dinner if you're hosting an event. Send them a text. I have been so moved several times when I have been in a situation where I've been living somewhere without family or friends, just to receive a text from a longtime friend that says Merry Christmas or Happy New Year or thinking of you, anything like that. It is a tremendous, tremendous gift that you can give to someone else. So as I said, if you know someone who may be having a difficult time during the holidays or maybe alone on Christmas, just reach out to them, give them a phone call, send them a text. It'll mean the world, and you'll feel better about it too. So thank you, Steph. I appreciate the opportunity to share those messages.
Of course, and my heart goes out to Bruce Rivers and his family for such a devastating loss this time of year. With that being said, guys, if you appreciated what John has said throughout this video and you have any questions for him whatsoever, then by all means head on over to his Instagram page at Witherspoon DC. It is the only place you're able to ask any questions about, what he said on this video or previous videos on this channel. He may not be able to get to all of your questions and answer them, but it is a place you are able to contact him nonetheless. Also as well, if you like this video and you want more, and of course there's going to be more, like I said, next up in a couple of hours time there's going to be another video with John and I where he's going to be reacting to the notion that Prince Harry bullied the NYPD into lying about the fake paparazzi chase to try and bolster his case and try and win against the UK government to get taxpayer funded security. What the deuce is going on? What is John's reaction to it all? Stay tuned for that video. Make sure on your way out you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And until the next time, you guys, laters.
Step don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the roof.